a question we're getting more of this year, particularly in the lead up to the US election, is does the outcome of the election have an impact on my investments? And I think people ask this question for a few reasons. Sometimes candidates who are going to be elected have policies that may be more pro-business or less pro-business. They may have policies that are more conducive to leading to higher inflation or lower inflation, and you'd think that some of these policies therefore may have an impact on the share market. But if you go back and have a look at past elections, and you can look in Australia, in the US, or in other countries, what you typically find is not a lot of evidence that the party in power has any impact on the share market returns at all. And you sometimes have parties coming in during a positive time in the business cycle or a negative time. These have tended to wash out over the very long run, and it's very hard to see a clear pattern of one party being better for markets or worse. And therefore, even if you try and predict which party is going to get in, it's hard to determine whether you should be invested in markets or not invested. In fact, the better strategy is just to be invested for the long run and accept there's going to be multiple parties leading the government over that period in time. The other challenge, I think, with trying to guess whether you should be invested based on the party that's about to get into power is that you can get the election result right, but still get the impact of that party very wrong. And that happened certainly with the first time President Trump was elected in the US. A lot of investors thought that would be extremely negative for markets. And as he was elected on that day, which was a big surprise to people, the share market initially tanked. It fell quite a lot. But by the next day, that market fall had completely reversed, and the market was up on the basis that his policies were expected to be pro-business, but also pro-spending and inflation. And so I don't believe trying to predict the election result or who's going to get into power really is something you need to do as an investor. It has very little bearing on your returns over the long run. Instead, just stay invested in a diversified mix of assets. You may have assets that do better or worse during different times of the market cycle or when different parties are in power, but I wouldn't be using politics as a way of determining your investment strategy.